Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and thank you for tuning in into this hands-on first impression and quick review of the all-new Galaxy Fold 3. If you're watching this, Samsung has already unveiled their two new foldable devices and I'm going to be doing a quick first look and impressions video starting with the Fold 3. And I have to start by saying that we already sort of had an idea of what these devices would look like based on all the rumors and leaks, and I'm surprised to say that we weren't too far off. In fact, I doubt that we actually missed anything. Starting from the design, there are significant improvements and changes which in my opinion have made the Fold 3 look much better than the Fold 2. It still does resemble the Fold 2 in some areas, but there are some key differences like the flatter, thinner profile, which I think is a very nice improvement as it gives it a very sleek look. We can also see that the camera model now is in line, sort of giving it a similar look to what we saw in the Note 10 devices. Another thing to mention is that the back of the Fold 3 now comes with Gorilla Glass Invictus, and it also has a new frame which Samsung calls the armored aluminum frame, basically making the phone a lot stronger than before. When it comes to the colors, we currently have three colors: a black, an olive green, which is my personal favorite, and a white color as well. Dimensions wise, the phone is slightly smaller, slightly thinner, and slightly lighter as well, which makes the phone a little bit less bulky and easier to hold in the hands. If we look on the sides, we can see the power button, which also has the fingerprint sensor integrated into it. On the bottom, we see the USB-C port alongside the microphone and the speaker grill as well. Also, the Fold 3 now comes with IPX8 rating, which means that it doesn't really have a dust resistant rating, although Samsung has made some changes to the hinge, which means less dust is likely to enter the Fold 3 as compared to last year's Fold. And the 8 means that it will basically have a water resistance where you can submerge the phone in 1 meter of water for up to 30 minutes, and this is honestly pretty impressive considering that we do have a lot of moving parts and there are a ton of places where water can enter and cause damage. Talking about the display here, we have the same 6.2-inch front cover display and a 7.6-inch primary foldable display. And with this, I do want to point out that the Fold 2 only had 120Hz display on the primary display, which was the one on the inside, and the cover display was only 60Hz. But this time, Samsung kept it consistent and added 120Hz display to the cover display as well, which is a nice little improvement. Another improvement that was also made was in the actual folding display. As many of us know, the folding screen, although was very innovative, was not perfect to say the least. The Fold series ended up breaking, and the second one basically left a pretty significant seam right where the phone folded up. This year, there is a slight improvement on the display. We do see the seam, it's still a little bit noticeable, but it is not as prominent as last year's Fold. Now this is where it does get a little bit interesting. The front camera on the cover display is still the same punch hole camera that comes with a 10 megapixel sensor, but the camera on the internal primary display has just a 4 megapixel sensor, and it may seem like Samsung is taking a step back, but if you haven't noticed, the internal front camera is actually an in-display camera, which means that it hides until it needs to be used. And because this technology is pretty new, you can't really manage a high megapixel sensor at the moment. But one thing that Samsung did do is that they increased the pixel size, which means that more light can pass through and will give us a significantly better image. On top of that, the internal 4 megapixel camera would most likely be used for Zoom calls or conference calls, which I think is more than enough to do the job. When it comes down to the back cameras, all three have a 12 megapixel sensor with an ultra wide lens, a primary lens, and a telephoto lens. Coming down to the powerhouse of the Fold 3, this year we see the latest Snapdragon 888 5G chip, which now has better heat management and better battery life as well. Furthermore, the Fold 3 is paired with 12 gigs of RAM with up to 512 gigs of internal storage. Moving to the battery, the Fold 3 actually has a slightly smaller battery than the Fold 2, which now comes at 4,400 milliamperes compared to 4,500 milliamperes that we had. As far as the charging is concerned, the Fold 3 will support 25 watts of fast charging with 15 watts of wireless charging, which will also be capable of reverse wireless charging. Now, I wanted to keep the most exciting part of the Fold 3 till last, and that is the S Pen support. The Fold 3 will support the S Pen even though the Fold 3 does not have any space to hold it like we see in the Note series, and it will not be coming in the box either. So you will have to actually buy it separately, but there will be cases available which have slots so you can store your S Pen in it. Now the one that I have here, this is the S Pen Plus, so this is not the one that will be coming or will be the one that's suitable for the Fold if you buy a case with it. But considering the fact that we won't be seeing the Note series being launched, it is nice to see the Fold 3 have the S Pen support. Anyways guys, that was my first impression and review on the Fold 3. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thumbs up if you did, and also stay tuned for the Flip 3 because that was also launched as well with the Fold 3, and I will be uploading a separate first impressions video on that as well. So make sure that you're subscribed and have the bell notification so you guys don't miss out on anything. And thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.